ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਅਰ, ਸਿਟੀ ਕੌਂਸਲਰ, ਰੀਜਨਲ ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਤੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਟਰਸਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। 22 ਅਕਤੂਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰੇਕ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਵੋਟਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੁਗਤਾਇਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਪਰ ਕੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਅਜ਼ਮਾਇਸ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਗਾਰਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਜੇ ਪਿਛਲੀਆਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਲਗਭਗ 33% ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਈਆਂ ਸੀ। ਇੰਨੇ ਘੱਟ ਟਰਨ ਆਊਟ ਹੋਣਾ, ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪੈਣੀਆਂ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। ਪਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਅਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਚਰਚਾ ਲਈ, ਬਹਿਸ ਲਈ ਅੱਜ ਵਾਰਡ 1 ਤੇ 5 ਤੋਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਸੰਜੀਵ ਧਵਨ ਜੀ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਚਲੰਤ ਮਾਮਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਹਿਰ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਉਹ CEO ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲ ਨੇ FBI ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ। ਧਵਨ ਜੀ, ਸਵਾਗਤ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ।
Thank you very much, Avneet ji. I have been coming to your shows for different other reasons, but today I am here for to meet with our prospective councillors of Ward 1 and 5. So I think not taking too much time, I would like to give the opportunity to our guests today so that they can talk about themselves and they can talk about the agenda issues they're going to raise if they are elected to the city of Brampton. So I'll request Ms. Jocelyn to start, introduce herself, and of course the time for all introductions is 1 minute.
Sat Sri Akal. Thank you to Prime Asia TV for inviting me to this event, and I would like to advise that, well, municipal politics, it's a balancing act. How does it all work out? Is it only about balancing the budget within a 4-year term, or is there more? I believe it's more. I believe it's about needs. It's your needs, you, the constituents who live in wards 1 and 5. I can confirm I've been living in wards 1 and 5, even during the boundary changes. And now I live in Ward 1, and I've been living in these areas for over 30 years. So I have seen many, many things happening in Brampton.
Now I request Mr. Romeo to introduce himself. Darrell Romeo.
Thank you very much. First of all, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to Prime Asia for inviting me to take part in this discussion. This is my first one, so hopefully I'll do pretty well. As a young candidate, I wish to be a role model for the younger generations coming up. A lot of candidates are a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned, but as a role model, I hope that I will light a fire under younger residents to start taking part in the democratic process. As a resident of Brampton for the past 12 years, I've had the pleasure of giving back to my community through lots of volunteerism, provide you behind the scenes, you know. I have spoken and I've witnessed personally the struggles that residents face on a daily basis. That is why I, as a candidate, feel that we need to make transit more efficient and effective. We need to start increasing building more affordable housing and dealing with the poverty situation within our city as well. We need to expand our university footprint, and we need to clean up the landscaping of Brampton so we can get businesses coming here.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
I'll give the opportunity to Don Patel.
Thank you, Prime Asia. Good morning, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste to all my viewers. Thank you, Avneet Teja ji and Sanjeev Dhawan, for inviting us at this debate for City Council Ward 1 and 5. Myself, Don Patel. Since I left India, I've been Bramptonian for the last 25 plus years, involved in lots of organizations like Habitat for Humanity, Meals on Wheels, Cara Bram, United Way, has given me an immense opportunity to understand the needs of Bramptonians. Also, as a studied police foundation, since I came over here, unfortunately that time it was a hiring freeze. I couldn't get into that, but that also gave me a pleasure and understanding of the community policing, or how the community is working, or what they require for. I've been gonna put the priorities for my things is like the traffic gridlock, safety of Brampton, long-term care, healthcare lobbying with the provincial government, infrastructure, and early establishment of the Brampton University. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patel.
Yes, Mr. Joe.
Good morning, Sat Sri Akal. Thank you, Prime Asia, for having all of us here today to express our views and ideas about municipal politics in Brampton. Municipal politics is one of the most important levels of government, and probably the one that's least participated by the people. It's the one that touches your life the most. I've been a Brampton resident for over 52 years. I've been volunteering in the community for over 35 years, and I've been involved in municipal government for over 30 years. I believe my experience and understanding of how government works in Brampton, about the issues that I've seen as I volunteer in the community, the issues that concern you the most, taxation, crime, transit, all those things, have to be addressed, hopefully, by this new council. I believe that we are not just at a crossroads, we are at a generational transport point where we now have to lead Brampton in a new direction.
Thank you very much, Joe. And Ms.
Rowena. Yes.
Hello, I'm Rowena Santos. Sat Sri Akal, namaste. My name is Rowena Santos, and I have been living in Brampton for many years since I was raised in Brampton. I'm now raising my son here in Brampton Wards 1 and 5. Our city has outgrown its small town status, and it is time for us to move forward. My professional background is in business, economics, and policy. I have a business degree and a master's from the London School of Economics in the UK. I've worked 12 years at Queen's Park and have helped to elect amazing community leaders like Gurpreet Singh Dillon in Wards 9 and 10. I also have worked for big companies like Magna International, the Royal Bank, as well as Imagine in the nonprofit sector. I know from all of that experience that we need a good, strong team of people working together for a common goal in order to get things done. And we need to get things done in Brampton. We need to create a city where we can live, learn, work, and play, where we have a good quality of life, less congestion, where we have safe and clean neighborhoods, as well as economic development and job creation in our city. Thank you so much. I look forward to our conversation further.
Thank you, Rowena, and now Mr. Imtiaz.
Thank you very much, Prime Asia, to inviting all of us in this morning. I'd like to say Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, everyone. I live in Brampton last 18 years. I live in the same Ward 1 and 5, and I had a degree in business management, and I have a small business which I'm running for last 18 years. What I see in the city which I live, I like to have a lot of things which have changed, because as a resident of Brampton, you can see you're facing every day. You like to change on the transit system. You like to change something on the health system. I think there is a lot of room to improve. There is a budget there. They're not using it properly, maybe. It's a mismanagement, or you can say that it's not putting in the place which it's supposed to be putting. And it should be for the kids who's raising up in this city. So it is all of us is good, like if you think about the city where you live, so you need a clean city, you need to move the traffic fast, transit system should be better, but it's a lot of things we need to improve, but we have to do it. And I'd like to thanks again from Prime Asia, and we're looking forward to the more discussion on that.
First question to all of you, it's an open question, anyone can answer and anyone can start. And the question is, everyone is talking that Brampton is crippling. There's a congestion, there's this. What do you think is the most important reason behind the failure of the Brampton? Is it a political leadership? Is it what? So whatever you think.
So one of the biggest failures over the past many years is actually, you're right, political leadership. There has been a lack of teamwork, a lack of cooperation, and too much political gaming that's been going on council. Not enough councillors working together for the priorities that matter. The other thing is that we've been developing a lot of houses, which has been good for us in the past, but it is time for us now to create jobs. Because when we actually get businesses to invest in Brampton and we create jobs, then we also address congestion. Because now people live and work in the city and can also take transit instead of leaving the city, spending their money somewhere else.
ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰੋਵੇਨਾ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਘਰ ਤੇ ਬਣ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਨੌਕਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਘਟਦੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਉਸ ਉੱਪਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਜੋ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਕੌਂਸਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲੀ। ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਆਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਰਿਹਾ, ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਸਿਆਸੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪਲੀਜ਼।
Anybody else want to respond to that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it is complete failure for Brampton. It is actually been crippling, as you said. It is correct. We all know, as we are all candidates over here living for so many years, there has been lots of great things has happened in Brampton also. Looking at the diverse growth in Brampton, I think we need a change in that diversity also at the council, where they understand the needs of different demographic and different people. City officials has definitely done a great job with other councils in the past also, but we as a new council coming up, we need to adapt that thing with the change what we have to bring it to make Brampton better than what it is right now.
I agree with Rowena when she said there's a failure on the council's part in terms of planning-wise. We in Brampton are growing tremendously because of the airport in so close proximity to Brampton. So what I find is that council is planning for today. They're not planning for the future. And that's what we need council to do. We need council to start planning for the future to expect the 1 million residents that's going to be here in Brampton within the next couple of years.
ਦਮਨ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੀ ਵਾਰਡ 1 ਤੇ 5 ਤੋਂ ਜੋ 6 ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਤਤੇਂਜਲੋ
In answer to the question, it's very complicated. I truly believe that there has been a lot of conflict with dealing with very levels of government. We have a very serious situation, yes, in Brampton, but that's not because someone deliberately did something wrong. As a matter of fact, funds have gone into projects. If you look at the Brampton Guardian, which only comes now only once a week, you will see that there are new bylaws popping up and new zoning occurring, etc. I think what we need to do, what I would do as councillor, is try to keep and secure as best as I can an open conversation and full cooperation of all levels of government. Federal funding, for example, when it eventually trickles down to the municipal level, we have a lot of problems trying to get our money onto those, our hands into that money. Sometimes it goes for something that has been waiting for years to be fixed. But now we do have a problem with infrastructure. We do have a problem where we're not taking care of our youth. We seem to have lost our youth. And that's a very serious situation. How then do we communicate to the schools? How then do we reach the youth? In order to get the youth to realize that there is something good about living in Brampton. Does it mean bringing in a satellite version of a university? Maybe, maybe not. Does it mean improving the GO back and forth all day so that students can get to the universities where they have applied to and where they are taking courses? But above all, where they can have work, sustainable work. And of course, taking care of our seniors. These are all very critical issues.
The next important question which I would like to pose to all of you is, everyone is talking that violence is increasing in the Brampton, safety, security. How you as councillor will work differently than the present councillors and the present council?
The issue is a very complex one. And it's not up to one group or one person or one organization to try and resolve. Part of the issue comes from the rapid growth that we've seen in Brampton and the inability of the city in its leadership to engage the community in ways that bring people together, that engage the youth and give them an opportunity to become active participants in the community themselves. I think if I'm elected, I would be pursuing engagement with community leaders on the front lines. I would be seeking support from the regional level of government, working with the police force as well, and asking the other councillors to be engaged in their wards, to ask the citizens where they see the problems stemming from.
Do you think that the previous councillors and the council was not engaging with the police and the other agencies to resolve or to eliminate or to decrease these problems?
Good question. I don't think it's a matter they weren't engaged. I think that would be a false statement to say they were not. I think it's the level of engagement. It seems in the last couple of years, crime has gone up. Now everyone's interested in it. It's sometimes too late at that point to deal with the issue. You have to be engaged from the beginning to understand where the issues are coming from, not deal with the symptoms of the issue, but go directly at the cause, the root cause of the issue.
ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਨੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜੋ ਸਵਾਲ ਸੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਿ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਗੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਹਲੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੜ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਸਥਿਤੀ ਨਾ ਬਣਦੀ ਇਸ ਪਲੀਜ਼
Yeah, it's a good question and it's a very alarming question for the youngsters what we live in Brampton. I think it's like is a lack of opportunities in the city at the moment for the youngsters, and I always encourage the people who you can put your kids on the sports, engage them. We have many programs running by the city, but it's not much. So they will be engaged on the healthy activities rather they go and do all these things and hang around with other people, video games and these kind of things. So if you can give, I will like to give them like a benefit for the parents and for the kids and a scholarship if you are doing good on the sports. So you can go on the international level and represent the whole country. So in that way you will be more engaging on the healthy activity rather you going in the bad stuff. So at the same time, like we have to create more jobs because that is the youngsters are lacking. They have to run around for the jobs and we have to attract more businesses. So you have more businesses in your neighborhood, then it's good for all of us. So we don't have to be like, that you have to drive. The traffic is a big problem for the whole city at the moment. We have to think about that. That is like killing your time. You're sitting in the 2 hours on the highways. We need more highways. So after 8 hours work, you need a peace of mind to come back home rather just sitting on the highways. So these are the issues we are not addressing. This is going to be a big problem in the future. We have to see this thing now, and it's very, very urgent. So that is my opinion.
Ravina wants to say something.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So this is a very growing concern. We hear a lot about it at the doorsteps. And engaging the community to address the systemic issues related to crime means actually talking to the people of the city about what's going on. And not just the people of the city. So Paul Vicente and I are working as a team. Paul's running to be the regional councillor. And we have hosted town halls on crime. And in fact, we're going to host another town hall on crime on October 29th after the election, regardless of the outcome, because it's such an important issue. But you actually have to not just create opportunities for young people, but talk to the young people. In July, when we had our crime town hall, just before the crime town hall, we were invited to speak to 25 young people from One Voice, One Team, shout out to Orlando Bowen, to talk to the 25 youth about why they're getting involved in crime. They need job opportunities, places to go, but also role models. And so on council, we need to act as role models and also be present in their schools so that they can see leadership in their city that represents them and listens to them.
I have been a social worker for over 30 years, and as such, my training began here in Brampton in probation and aftercare, and then working with young offenders. The question is a very good question. What do we do about the crime? Well, first of all, we don't point the finger at the youth. Let's be very careful. It is not all youth that are criminals. If anything, unfortunately, they're being dragged into some very high criminal activities, and that is unfortunate. But the issue is multi-leveled. As a social worker, I have worked with estranged youth, but I have also worked with youth who had many, many advantages. That being said, what then do you do about the infrastructure? What then happens with policing? I am fully aware of a very good program at Guelph Humber University, and it is training the future policemen in Ontario, in Canada, those that wish to pursue whether it is going to be municipal or provincial or even federal. So you have provincial OPP, you have the federal RCMP. And I have worked with the police in the past. What needs to honestly be happening, in addition to the communication, is to provide a way for people to be able to contact the police when it is necessary. Sometimes a lot of people don't even know how to use the 911 properly.
Daryl.
As a candidate for city council, I would basically work with my city councilor to provide ideas on how we can go about solving the crime within our city. Due to the recent influx in gun violence taking place in our city, residents and even candidates have seemed to have forgotten that crime is actually have been taking place, but it hasn't been reported as much. And what I mean by that is the underage prostitution taking place within our school system, the drug addiction that's been taking place on our front step. We need candidates like myself and other candidates here to basically go out and speak with residents and say, listen, how can we address these situations? How can the government step in and take action to help improve our safety within our community from here? As a Police Foundation graduate, I've worked with the police department in order to come up with ideas and ways in order to help our community. Programs such as Neighborhood Watch, I think, is phenomenal, because with the Neighborhood Watch program, at least, residents can take, action and take, affirmative action in order to make their communities safer. Thank you.
Please. ਇਹ ਜੀ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਉਠਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹਰੇਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਗਨ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਹੁਣ ਵੇਲਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ, ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ब्रेक तो बाद आप सब का स्वागत। इस वक्त साडे नाल ने वार्ड 1-5 ब्रैम्पटन तो कौंसलर की चोन लड़ रहे उम्मीदवार ते साडे नाल एक होर उम्मीदवार इस चलदी हुई बहस दे विच जुड़े ने। करणजीत पंधेर जी, तुहाडा भी स्वागत जी।
My name is Karanjit Singh Pander, and I'm running as a city councillor from the ward 1 and 5. I worked for Canada Post since 1992, and I came to Canada in 1992 too. My first election was in 2007 with Howard Hampton, and my second election was in 2008 with Mr. Jack Layton, and my third election was in 2011 again Andrea Horwath. So I was the NDP candidate 3 times. So this time, after 6 years, I decided, all my friends, all my previous candidates, they decided, okay, Mr. Pander, why don't you run for city council? Because we need you right now, because a lot of things are happening in the city. The crime is increasing, and nobody is taking care of our infrastructure. No, our gridlock is increasing day by day, and nobody is taking care of. So in fighting between in the council, so we are suffering, the citizens.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. Your question about the safety in Brampton is very serious and very important. As I mentioned earlier, as being studied Police Foundation at Sheridan College in Brampton, it has given me an opportunity to understand the community needs and requirement. But at that time, the scenarios were completely different. Community policing were different. Right now, we need a huge change to bring it up, to use our police resources to use at the right place. As I mentioned earlier, youth is not the only one. We have to focus over here, community involvement, lots of requirement at the recreation centers, and keep them occupied in the proper work, being involved in lots of small businesses. They give an opportunity for kids to work around the city. That will keep them occupied, keep their mind going through the right direction to prevent that thing. Matter of fact, just last weekend on Saturday, I was at the Garden Square talking to people about safety and what they feel in Brampton. At the same night, there was a shooting happened right at the same spot. It's ironic. It's bizarre. We can't take these kind of chances to be part in a Brampton. We need a Brampton as a much better and a safer place.
My next important question, which I think everyone has been talking in all the wards, in the mayor's discussions, the question everyone is asking that Brampton's population, majority of Brampton population leave Brampton for a job.
Correct.
So my question is, why we are not been able to bring businesses, bring jobs here? That's my question, open question to everyone. And then what you will do differently to bring jobs, businesses to Brampton?
One of the things I made a mistake in, and I'm not afraid to say this, I was referring to a job loss of what I call the Dixie Cup plant, which is located on Queen Street between McMurtry and McLaughlin. That is the Georgia Pacific plant. And I was in shock to find out that 136 people, perhaps even more, because there's a lot of, rollout jobs that come out of that plant as well. The plant is shutting down, just like that. People are going to be losing their jobs, their homes. They're going to have to move out to look and see for other work. Perhaps they might not be able to find other work. This sort of lack of sustainability has been the problem in Brampton. Many years ago, Caterpillar ended up shutting down. A multi-billion-dollar corporation. Yes, they're in the United States, thank you, but we had them here. Why did we lose them? I remember those job losses because I remember those families that lost their homes, and that was the cruelest thing to happen. What can we do?
Mr. Darrow, what are your thoughts on it?
Thank you very much. As a counselor, I'm going to basically take a step back and actually look at the profile of our city. Once we're able to do that, do a SWOT analysis, identify our strengths, weaknesses, and threats for our city. And then from there, I will sit down and talk with the Board of Trade.
I'm cutting you short. You talked about the SWOT analysis, but you forgot about talking about the opportunities.
Yes.
Opportunities are more important.
But yes, correct. Thank you for letting me, for filling that in as well, too. Thank you very much. I would also sit down with the Brampton Board of Trade and actually sit down and say, okay, you know what? Let's talk to the businesses and find out what ideas or what concerns they have or what opportunities they think would attract businesses here. Try to find out, okay, you know what other businesses complement my business as well too. So that way, at least it can bring jobs into our city. The next thing I would also want to do is basically have them sit down with the mayor and say, okay, you know what, this is a list of the jobs that we think we can bring to Brampton. Why don't you start cold calling them? You know, get out there and say, okay, you know what, this company can be beneficial and also cut back on the tax on the big businesses. Provide some kind of incentives to the business to actually want to come here and create jobs.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. I would say as important as the big corporations to be in Brampton, at the same time smaller businesses are also as important, giving a small opportunity to the local residents, whether it's a retail business or small manufacturing plants also. Of course, the bigger plant require lots of zoning, lots of transportation and the infrastructure to be in the Brampton. At the same time, we also want to encourage the local small businesses to be part of the Brampton city also. As being a commercial realtor and retail businesses, while doing the door knocking, I have sold lots of buyers and sellers in this city also. They're talking to me and explaining how small businesses are important for the local community where they don't have to travel too often. Like the kids can come out of their high school, just go to do the local jobs at the small mom and pop shop or what. Yes, Brampton Board of Trade or the City Council or the people like bigger corporation like Chrysler, Amazon, Canadian Tire or the Walmarts, they are being in Brampton, and we've been benefiting for our infrastructure or the things with that. But I would definitely like to encourage and give them an incentive or the taxation system to come back in Brampton.
Thank you, Don. And I think I give this question to everyone because this is one of the most important questions, and we want to have your thoughts.
So again, another complex issue that involves a lot of focus. I believe one of the first things we need to do is think out of the box in terms of how we are engaging the business community and what we need to do to not only encourage the businesses that are here in Brampton today to grow and create more jobs, but also what is it about Brampton that would want to make a company move into the city and be part of our economic growth. Part of the problem is the strategy in engaging. You're absolutely right when you talk about cold calling. It's an exercise in engaging out there. What can we offer business community and say, here's what you can do in Brampton. Here's why you need to be in Brampton. Here's how Brampton Council and the Brampton businesses that are here now are going to help you grow and develop. It's one thing to talk. That's another important point. It's another thing to do. We've talked so much about economic development. We've talked so much about the importance, but I see very little action taking place in terms of attracting the types of businesses that can sustain a strong economy.
Thank you. Ravina.
So it does absolutely begin again with leadership. We need to make sure that our city councillors are working together and we have a strong local government. Why? Because businesses rely on strong, stable local governments in order to invest and be in the city. Number two, and we need to make sure that we have tax incentives for businesses to be here. We need to make sure that those tax incentives or tax breaks are associated and tied with community benefit agreements so that any business that's coming to Brampton also has to hire locally and hire and create jobs here locally. The other thing as well is we need to make sure that we have a good quality of life in Brampton. We have a diverse population, but we need to make sure the residents are happy, because happy residents means a big pool of employees as well as a viable market base for businesses to be successful.
Thank you, Ravina. Mr. Imtiaz.
Yes, sir. Any business plan, if you go on the cities like that, the main part is like that. What is the benefit? Why the business need to move in Brampton? What is the city can do for them? So that's, you have to make him a tax bracket or some other benefits which you can say, okay, you know that if you can bring the business to Canada, I mean in Brampton, so then you have to hire the local people. Okay, we give you the other benefit for that. And then you have to give them a benefit to, like, for the whole city, right? So that is kind of things you need to be encouraged on that.
Thank you, Mr. Imtiaz.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think I just I'm gonna little bit in Punjabi and little bit in English. More businesses, because we can create more jobs if we concentrate on the small-scale businesses. You know, if we will bring more small-scale businesses, we will create more jobs. And how we can bring it? How we can bring it? Because most of us know that federal governments and the provincial governments, they give the grants to the small-scale businesses, and we can educate. We can just do the workshops. Educate our young kids, like how they can apply to get the loan get the grants from the governments, the federal governments the provincial governments ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ grants ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ, right? ਤੇ ਉਹ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਰ jobs create ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ incentive ਦੇ ਸਕੀਏ ਤੇ small scale businesses ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ we could have just let them know, okay, we're going to give you the incentives.
ਜੀ ਪੰਦੇਰ ਜੀ, ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ ਅਜੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਵੇਲਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ, ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵਾਰਡ 1 ਅਤੇ 5 ਤੋਂ ਸਿਟੀ ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਦੀ ਚੋਣ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ 7 ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਆਖਰੀ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਮੇਅਰ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਜਕਾਲ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਲੋਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਚੁਣਨ। ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਸੰਜੀਵ ਜੀ।
So my last question to everyone is, number one, it's a very important discussion taking place these days that the achievements of our mayor, Linda Jaffrey, and she said that her biggest achievement is to bring the university to the Brampton. So many people, many mayor candidate, many regional councillor, they're talking about the university. Is it the right place where they're having? Is it the right way of doing it? So that's the last question. And along with that, I request all the candidates to tell why people should vote for you. And we'll start from our left.
Yes, I'm happy that the university is coming to Brampton, but the space is not enough. So we should go. We still have some land left because they sold all of our land. They सारी ज़मीनें अपनी बेच चुके ने. What we have to do, we have to find a right place for the university, and I'm very happy this is coming. And they should bring this university 10-15 years back, because our kids are going to the other universities, and so the parents, they are the one who are suffering because they have to spend a lot of money on their resident, hostels and all, wherever they're living. So what I want just like the space should be chosen. थोड़ी अपनी होर स्पेस चाहिए है जेडी कि they should choose.
Why people should vote you?
People should vote for me because I gonna fight for them. I won't let them happen whatever they did. in the past, and I will write standing for the people of Brampton, and I will try to take the university out of the city, and I will try to concentrate on the infrastructure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Imtiaz.
Yes, sir. The university is good for obviously the city, and the space-wise we need more space on that area so we can cover more areas. We should have make more residents, and then at least she done something to bring the universities here. But the other thing which she done is the LRT. I think the whole city was declined that. That is, I think the most of the Brampton didn't like it. And now she's saying that, like, okay, if you give her opportunity, maybe she can vote for the favor of that. So yeah, university is good. So we might be in the future, if we see we have a land, can attract more universities and the other colleges to attract and come in the Brampton.
Why people should vote you?
Why people should vote me? Because I live in Brampton for like 18 years. I know what is the problem as a common man at the moment. And if I go and elected and I go to the city hall, then I will try to solve that as the way I like to see all my people should be enjoy and living in the Brampton.
Thank you, Mr. Imtiaz.
Thank you.
Ms. Ravina.
So I had the pleasure of meeting with the president of Ryerson University in April. Dr. Lashemi, contrary to what people believe, Dr. Lashemi is not making Ryerson University a satellite university. He said very clearly to me and Paul Vicente that he wants to make it a big campus where we can expand. The challenge for us is that Ryerson chose Brampton because they want to be near transit and right near the GO train station. That's where they wanted to be. So you were right. It was a big mistake to vote against the LRT, because looking back, the LRT would have gone straight to Ryerson University. If we want the university shovels in the ground now, we need to build it in that location. There's going to be growing pains.
Why people should vote for you?
People should vote for me because I have a wide range, diverse range, and many years of experience in all three sectors: the public, the private, the nonprofit sector. I have the education background in business, economics, and policy, and I can provide a fresh new perspective that is desperately needed on our council, and know how to bring people together.
Thank you, Ravina. Mr. Joe.
The university. Well, we've heard so much about the university in the last little while. My understanding is that Brampton has been seeking a university for many years. I don't know if this is the best solution for Brampton. At the end of the day, I have still not seen the ink dried on the agreement between the university and the government and Brampton. This is one of the first universities, to my understanding, that has been paid for by municipal tax dollars. All other universities built in Ontario were paid by the provincial government. Brampton has made a huge investment in this university on the hopes that it was going to be an anchor to develop the downtown. We can't make the same mistake we did with the Rose Theatre. It was meant to be an anchor to bring business and culture into the downtown. It's struggling to do that as well. And also, there are limited spots at this university, and it's a very different type of program than a general type university. So I do have my concerns. I believe it's a good idea, but there are concerns that I have, and I would address head on.
Why people should vote for you?
I believe that my 30 years plus experience in municipal government and my 35 years as a volunteer in the community at different organizations, Peel Children's Aid, Caribram, Portuguese Community, and so on, is something that I will contribute. I work hard and I'm dedicated to getting the job done.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yes, university, it is coming in our Ward 1, and that's one of the reasons we all are excited about that thing. Is it a right space into that one? Early establishment for this university, we've been hearing for so long. Kids has to travel outside. Right spot, right thing, as we mentioned, the shovel has to be in the ground right now. Lots of small town communities got the university. Why not Brampton? Brampton been fighting for this for so long. Again, I do have my concern for the sports. We have lots of land created, but the transportation, if it is the main issue, this would be the right way to develop in the area.
Why people should vote for you?
Simple reason, simple person. I have a heart and mind to work for the people. I'm actually not a political candidate, I consider myself, but I'm a people person for the people, and I have been involved in lots of organizations and communities, so I know what people's actual requirements are, and I will work for them as a city council if I get elected.
Thank you, Don. Dar.
In terms of a university, I believe it's a small achievement for Ms. Jeffries to actually get Ryerson University here. But unfortunately, this is long overdue. cities are built around universities, and the university should have been here from the get-go. I believe that with Ryerson University coming here, there needs to be more campuses spread around the city, but unfortunately, the land space, we're now going to have to basically look at, okay, where can we put these campuses? One of the primary things that I wanted was a healthcare department where doctors can go do their residencies at these places here. For example, the Peel Memorial Hospital. You know, if we could have put a residency there, at least, you know, that creates numerous amount of jobs. And on top of that, that will attract more residents from all the further parts of Brampton to commute closer.
Why people should vote for you?
As a young candidate on city councilor, every decision that I will be making will be based on the careful consideration and unbiased influences. I don't belong to any party. I'm an independent, and I'm working for the residents of Brampton. And again, these decisions made will not only affect me, but the future generations for years to come. President John F. Kennedy once said, change is the law of life, and we need to make changes right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the issue of the university, it is a good plan. I think there was good intention. However, where it's going to be located is definitely a problem, and that is unfortunate. But do we want to not put shovel in the ground? Do we want to not put at least some part of an idea moving? Because, you see, this is the problem. Previous councils have come forth with ideas. Previous mayors have come forth with ideas. A new council, a new mayor, should not just simply take those ideas and toss them. Excuse me, but that's your money that's just been thrown away if you decide to do that. Therefore, better planning, even now, even though the shovel has still not been put in the ground, needs to be done. And I would like to see expansion in the programs, because more programs, the better.
Why people should vote for you?
My friends, I am a community person. I have worked all my life as a registered social worker. I have been with the Italian-speaking community most of my life. I have also been with the Salvation community most of my life. And many of you know me by face, or have seen me, or have participated with me in all level of government operations and functions, whether it be federal, provincial, and in our community.
ਜੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ। ਹਰੇਕ ਨੇ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਹਰੇਕ ਨੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ, ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ। ਫੈਸਲਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਅਪੀਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੋਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਿਓ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੋਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਇਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਇਤ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਹੱਕ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦਾ। ਜਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੋਟ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲੋਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਭੇਜ ਸਕੋਗੇ। ਜੇ ਸਹੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਸਹੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੇਗਾ, ਸਹੀ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਸਹੀ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਹੀ ਦਿਸ਼ਾ ਵੱਲ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇਲਾਕਾ नहीं वध सकता। इस करके वोट जरूर करियो। प्राइम एशिया टीवी ना किसी उम्मीदवार का समर्थन करता, ना ही किसी का विरोध करता। असीं अपनी जिम्मेवारी निभावांगे, हरेक उम्मीदवार नूं तुहाडे तक लैके आवांगे, फैसला तुहाडे हत्थ होवेगा। इस दे नाल ही मैनूं, मेरे नाल संजीव धवन नूं ते साडे सारे ही जिन्ने नाल कैंਡੀਡੇਟਸ ने, इन्हां नूं दिओ इजाजत। तुसीं देखदे रहो प्राइम एशिया टीवी, तुहाडा अपना, तुहाडे लई।
ਹੁਣ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਫੇਵਰਿਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇਖਣ ਲਈ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ ਭੱਜ ਨੱਠ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬ੍ਰਿਟ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਨੇ ਮਿਲਾ ਲਏ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ। ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੇਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਟ ਸ਼ੋਜ਼ ਹੁਣ ਬ੍ਰਿਟ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ। देश दुनिया ਦੀਆਂ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਸਵੇਰੇ 7 ਵਜੇ, ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਵੂਮਨ ਬੇਸਡ ਔਨ ਵੂਮਨਸ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਸਵੇਰੇ 7:30 ਵਜੇ, ਕਲਚਰਲ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਵਿਦ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸਵੇਰੇ 8 ਵਜੇ, ਰਿਲੀਜੀਅਸ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਚਰਚਾ ਤੇ ਐਂਟਰਟੇਨਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਵੇਰੇ 9 ਵਜੇ, ਬੇਸਡ ਔਨ ਡੇਲੀ ਕਰੰਟ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਫੋਕਸ ਸ਼ਾਮ 5 ਵਜੇ, ਜੱਜ ਦਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਮਿਊਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਕਾਮੇਡੀ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਐਂਡ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊਜ਼ ਵਿਦ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਸ਼ਾਮ 6 ਵਜੇ, ਬੇਤੜਕ ਤੇ ਪੱਖਪਾਤ ਰਹਿਤ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਪੱਤਰਕਾਰ ਜਤਿੰਦਰ ਪੰਨੂ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖੋ ਸ਼ਾਮ 7 ਵਜੇ। ਤੇ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਅਖਬਾਰਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੁਰਖੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਸਵਰਨ ਟੈਣਾ ਖਬਰ ਦੀ ਖਬਰ ਸ਼ਾਮ 7:30 ਵਜੇ। ਸੋ 50 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ 'ਚ ਵਸਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਸੈਟਸ ਤੇ ਸਕਾਈ ਟੀਵੀ ਚੈਨਲ 743, ਵਰਜਨ ਟੀਵੀ ਚੈਨਲ 840, ਫ੍ਰੀਵਿਊ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੰਬਰ 264 ਤੇ। ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ।